GoofyBuilt chain coming up.
What up, guys? So as you guys saw at the end of last year, Mario's car lost a transmission again.
Throwing down for you guys right now, FewH Speed Fest, Kearney, Nebraska. Let's go!
No, Mario let out. Oh man. I'm not sure. $9.99. Mario let out. What do you think happened? He let out. He was flying. I don't know. I don't know.
Like something like it's like hitting on a couple or something. And then...
I don't know. And most of the winter we spent trying to figure out why and looking at what, and you know, there was a kind of like a whole domino effect of things we figured out as it went. And Lily, she's just loving this sunny day. But so back in here we have Mario's car, and we have the trans fully assembled back in it now with a FewH22Crew billet bell housing. And there's some things we just want to go over with you and talk about. So regarding a lot of different things, because there's been a lot of, you know, previously we've had 1-2-1s, double engagements, clutch sticking, a bunch of different problems. So they're all different, not all related. So check it out. So here we're pulling up FT Manager to get into the log. All right here. So open up this log. So as I was talking about, all those issues, they don't all stem from the same stuff. They're not all the same issues. The clutch was kind of just it wasn't a fluke, but there's just a little bit of variances between the companies and such, and we just kind of got dumb luck there. The 1-2-1s, you know, the shifter came loose and things happened. But this, so if you look at this is first, second, we're ripping. Shifts right here to third gear, and he's ripping for a good bit. About half a second, 3 to 3.5. And at 3.5, it just lets go. Well, just after 3.6, it just lets go. Revs to the moon. 35 pounds. It's just sending it out. And that is where it broke. It wasn't on the shift, which when we initially pulled apart the transmission, there was so much chaos.
Alright, I'm gonna try and take some fucking video here for you, Mario, as I open this thing up. All that chunkies were falling out though as we started, so I'm gonna do this fucking one-handed. Oh, kind of. Alright. Oh, yep. Third gear. Sad. Very sad. Missing more teeth than a hockey team.
We initially may have kind of just jumped to a conclusion that it could have been a double engagement. And then looking at things further, we found that the input shaft was bent. The previous pass, before this pass, we don't have that log pulled up, but the previous pass in Pueblo, Mario, his flywheel bolts came loose.
Alright guys, so you guys saw the pass down the track. Definitely I was having issues getting it into gear at the burnout box, and it was being weird. And then when I went to go into third, it put me back in first. I mean, I basically money shifted it, but what we came back and found was that this rod, because these bolts were loose and not locked in, it had changed position. So I just readjusted it so that now I can easily go over into first, put my lockout in, go second, third, fourth, and it should work now. But it was just those had shifted position, which is another reason why I've been saying I don't love this shifter. It's just too many adjustment points. I hadn't checked in a while, I guess, so that's on me as well, but just totally threw off how the car felt. And it revved up to 11, 17. We still have oil pressure, so I'm gonna check a few things, and I think we're gonna go again.
And Morgan had pulled the trans apart and checked it out and told us that the transmission case looked to be flexing. To try to keep it from flexing, we did weld up a new bell housing, not using the same one just in case it had already been twisted. We got a different one from one of Mario's old faceplated transmissions, and we tried to go back at it again. And so going back at it again, I think it was second or third pass out, Mario shredded the teeth off of third gear and caused a whole lot of damage inside the transmission. Talking with everybody, Morgan, everybody, we got everything figured out and dialed back in. The transmission went on and feels better than it has all last season. We had no issues with the transmission going into the clutch, no problems with the pilot bearing too tight on the input shaft. Everything kind of just went together perfect. I was super worried when I initially put the clutch on. My input shaft that I use as a clutch alignment tool was kind of stiff, but got all that stuff sorted and taken care of, and I'm pretty excited for Mario this year. We got a lot of stuff coming, and we did have full stock case in there, and knowing, you know, the B series cases don't even last this far. Mario is making well over 1,000 horsepower, and the stock B series cases definitely can't even hang with a dog box that far, so it's definitely good to see. Good things we noticed. We'll go look at the gears now. And show you what I'm talking about there. All right, so here we have Mario's transmission gears, and so you can see where they were wearing. You can see the dogs. I mean, everything has wear, and it was ran and pushed, but you can see these are the dogs. These are the gears themselves, and you can see it was riding not on this tip. It just came out and zinged the tip, which is why we think the stock case couldn't hang, and it caused a lot of this damage. Took out other gears along with it as chunks from third gear were falling through the transmission, and had a bad time. So changed the bearings in the transmission, went through the gears, got a new input shaft, went through the clutch, new pilot bearing, kind of checked over everything, and we're trying to take a little bit of weight out of the car as well to take some load off of the transmission and everything. The motor doesn't really care, the motor kicks butt, but we're trying to make everything else work together. It's a team thing, you know, so that all the parts play a part. All right, guys, pardon the glare from the light, and the dust from all the carbon fiber, but Mario and I, we have been going crazy. So the panel still, honestly, doesn't look the best. Ugh. Like, I need to figure out a little bit of my wire management. They're going everywhere. But so I need to do a couple more ins and outs on the fuse panel, and then I think we're dialed in over here, maybe besides a couple outs for lights. But some stuff I don't know because Mario wired it. I do know how lights and things work, but I don't want to mess with his wires too much. Not that I don't want to mess with them, I don't want to mess them up too much. I know, like, he used the factory switch before, so a lot of this went in there, but we're deleting the factory steering column, and we're doing a lightweight column, so some of it's gonna have to change, and maybe I do just need to dive in there and put my own switches and make it all happen. But we're gonna figure that out together. We got a new, nicer power cable in there. We're working on getting everything just dialed in, and the wires going over to this, and the wires going over to this side where the fuel tech is, and the buttons are mounted. I suck, and this guy is slightly crooked. I don't know if you guys can notice it. Yeah, you totally can. You see this top corner? Gosh dang it. I may be able to just raise this other corner. Take the screws out and kind of fidget with it. Honestly, if I leave no screws in it, it's not going to fall out. It may just rattle a little bit. Yeah, so Mario and I have been working. We're getting everything dialed in here, removing some weight. We got the lighter dash, we got the lighter windows. You know, still got his steel doors on here for now, but trying to do as much as we can with what we got. Super excited. Super sick. All right, so let's see. The kill switch is back there, and it's already grounded. It's not grounded, but it's grounded. Let's see what happens. Just let you pick it up. The ground. Yep. Okay. So just ungrounded the ground. And that turns on and off the car. So everything is working how it should. Now, I did possibly reallocate some things. I didn't mean to. But so, we're gonna have Jamie plug in, make sure everything's where it needs to be. The starter really is the one I don't know about. The fan and then the other things should be right. But yeah, so turn his little breaker off so that it doesn't, if it does ground, it's not just sitting powered up. And we got all Mario's stuff wired back up. Now we gotta get the seats mounted, we gotta get the dash mounted, dash bar, steering column, windshield. I need to write a list for Mario. I have a paper one in there, but I need a more detailed, like, freaking list that's in the way, scene, and so we can start knocking things out. So, pretty excited. We got a little bit of work done on Mario's today. Finished up the wires underneath the dash here. They are very ugly. There's no dash bar, and I still need to finish up the light stuff, but the fuel tech stuff is all reallocated and tied back in. A lot of things are shortened back up and ran a lot cleaner. All of it's through one hole and one grommet. So once I get the dashboard into the dash, I'll be able to zip tie and clean up the wires that are just kind of on the floor there. They'll be up above under the dash, and then we'll make tabs to mount the dash too then. So we've been going along great, kicking butt. I love Mario's freaking car. It looks so damn good, and it's been a nice day. And so with that being said, we've got the fresh Doge box in here. FewH22Crew, put together by Morgan over at the PFC party. Guy kicks butt, takes care of all of our transmissions. And it was super nice when we put it back together this last time. Morgan loved everything. We don't have a shifter in the car right now. Mario's been kind of going through the whole list, doing everything, and he sold the KDN and has a Huey Tran on the way. So he just, you know, he's had some bugs. The shifter came loose on him a couple times, and he was wanting something new. He's liked the Huey a lot. He's already recommended it to a couple people, just based on what he's seen, and that's why Blake has one in his car. And so we're waiting on the Huey to get on the way, but Morgan did and has offered us the window case to put together the whole trans with the window case and put it back in the car and make sure everything's dialed in. But we don't really have enough time for our first event with everything else we've got going on and stuff that we got to knock out. We're barely gonna scrape it just by, you know, the hair on our chin. So I'm pretty excited for all of us. I mean, Steven, Mario, and I, we've been going really hard. We've been doing a lot of stuff over the winter, from the front to the back of the car with, you know, weight reduction, suspension, just trying to make everything work together better. Really is the goal. We're trying to stop making everything have to work so hard. If everything's working together, there should be a little more give, you know, maybe not give, but a little more consistency, a little more, you know, ability to like look at it more like a science project. You know, we have these variables, this is the car, and if we change this, what does it do? You know what I mean? So we're trying to get all of the platforms as similar as possible with the bias and the setups and everything. You know, like there's variations in engines, gear ratios, the weight of the car. The bias isn't 100% the same. The length of the car, the wheelbases aren't 100% the same. There's a lot of different factors that go into building a race car. And there is another guy, you know, just down the road that's done something similar. And, you know, you can kind of look at what they've done. And there's a lot of, you know, some people say what ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. But there's also a little bit of, you know, if you're just doing what the other guy's doing, you're not going to be the guy on top. Most of the time, you're going to be following somebody else. So there's a little bit of R&D going in and trying to figure out what to do next and where the steps are. Especially with the Prelude and Mario's program, there's not a lot of guys. I mean, there is more guys nowadays since Mario's been putting it out there and showing that the chassis can do it. There are more guys pushing it and trying, and more guys out there for sure. A lot of guys that are going to be doing the all-wheel drive platform, some K Preludes, and there's just a lot of different people out there trying and watching and asking questions and doing the dang thing. But, you know, maybe you don't know. I don't know. I'm rambling. Want to say thank you guys for tuning in. We're super excited for this next season. We've got some good things in store. Really excited to see how things turn out. Everything has been coming together and looking really, really well. I'm pretty pumped up for the 2025 season, and I think everyone else in our camp is as well. So thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe down as always. And this is GoofyBuilt working on Mario's Prelude. Peace out.